We have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we are bringing balance to the world, and we're bringing it right to your household today. So I'm super excited. We're doing that with Dr. Shana Gourdine. And did I say that right, Shana?
It's Gourdine, but it's okay.
Gourdine. Oh, I thought I did it completely right. Okay. Dr. Shana Gourdine. Dr. Shana Gourdine, which she's been on The Kim Jacobs Show already before, and it's definitely my pleasure and honor to have you back with us today. Glad to see you.
Yes, it's always a pleasure.
And I see over there that you have purple hair today. We'll talk about that. So you can lean in a little bit and let people see the coloring and everything, because I see some purple over there, right? So we'll talk about the significance too of why you kind of dye your hair purple during a specific time frame. But everyone, listen, grab your virtual seats and go ahead and invite your friends and family into this discussion that we're having today. We're going to be talking about the resilience of the human spirit, going from adversity to triumph. And this woman, Dr. Shana, knows exactly what it takes to get on the other side of that equation, on the other side of the mountain. And so I'm really excited to have you here today. We're going to formally give a brief introduction. Dr. Shana Gourdine. Dr. Shana, I'm going to call you Dr. Shana Gourdine, right?
Okay.
Is it Gourdine?
Like a lot of people, how I tell them, say good and dine.
Gourdine.
Yeah.
You know, so the way it's spelled, it looks like, for those of you that are audio podcast listeners, because sometimes people are like, what in the world is going over there? But you don't get to see it spelled ShanaGourdin. So it's not anything like it looks on the screen, right? It's Dr. Shana Gourdine. Dr. Shana Gourdine is our guest today, and we're going to make sure we get that right, because that's very important. Nobody likes their name being mispronounced. At least I don't anyway. And this is a whole side note. When I go get my nails done, like say if it's an Asian or a Vietnamese, actually in this case, a Vietnamese person that's doing my nails, they'll give me their American name, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, no. I want your real name. I don't want to call you something just because you're in the United States. I want to know if your name is Tao. I want to call you Tao. I don't want to call you Jenny. I want to call you Tao, you know? So I'm really big on making sure that the person's name is proper. Anyway, that's a whole side note. That ain't even what this show is about, nails. Right?
But it comes with resilient too. So at the same time, your name means much because it was born with a purpose. So I get it.
Girl, you see why you're resilient and talking about resilience of the human spirit. Dr. Shana Gourdine is an empowerment advocate, inspirational author, and a motivational speaker whose journey from adversity to triumph is what we're really going to be talking about, reflects the resilience of the human spirit. She is the founder of Unmasking Motivation magazine and the host of Shana Unmasking Motivation. And this is something that has inspired the nation. So we're going to talk a lot about how people are able to walk boldly in your purpose as a result of just being connected to my special guest today. And she has received numerous awards, and we'll talk about some of those as well. Welcome again to the Kim Jacobs Show, Dr. Shana.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here and be able to bless someone with my story and my mission.
Your story and your mission is it's heart-wrenching, but it's heartwarming, and it gives us all hope to know that life doesn't have to end like that. You know, it just doesn't have to be like that. And there's a way for it to turn and to shift. So I'm excited about this. But you've actually walked through a lot of adversity and triumph, because I've seen you over the years. You've walked through both. But I would love for you to just share maybe a defining moment where you realize the real strength of your true spirit.
I could definitely say one of my defining moments was just, knowing that my words had power and know what my worth was. When you go through something tragic, a lot of times we ask ourselves, why me? Why is it happening? Why am I dealing with all this? But then when the light comes on, it's like, it's an aha moment. Like, despite all the pain, despite all the trauma, the tragedy, the anxiety that I went through, I realized the story wasn't for me. It was for someone else. My testimony was designed to help empowering others to walk through their purpose. I use this acronym called DOPE, dedicated to other people empowerment.
Oh, I love it. Somebody type that, DOPE. Dedicated to other people empowerment. Dope.
Yes.
Dedicated. I'm typing it too. Dedicated
to
to
other
other.
people empowerment.
Wow. What does that mean when you're
For
saying?
me, it's the fact is that, all right, I went through domestic violence and I went through trauma, but now I'm walking others through their trauma and letting them know that, yes, you went through this, but it wasn't designed to hurt you. It was designed to empower you. Unfortunately, someone else made you go through trauma, but now it makes you stronger. And it's time to dedicate yourself to empower others that, yes, you've been through something, but it doesn't mean that has to be the end of your story. Yes, we were a victim, but now you're a thriver. You're fearless. You're worthy. And we have to know our worth.
And I wonder why people, because this is just a question I actually have forgot. Why do people have to go through so much trauma and turmoil and suffering? And because you've experienced so much yourself personally, I've personally have experienced a lot too. So I can speak from example, but you're my guest, so we'll focus on you. What do you attribute that to from your perspective?
Well, some of it, I've learned that we're not the victim because we do play a part. And, it's a learning process. It's a process that, we're learning and growing. And, I call it the growth stage. I call it the glow up after the grow up. And sometimes we have things that happen in our childhood that we tend to settle for. And, we tend to get into these things and things happen. Life is a lesson. Nothing's easy and it's not just going to always be a walk in the park. So unfortunately, yeah, we do go through hard lessons. Some can be easier than others. And sometimes we can, help the process, but sometimes we harm ourselves by going through things. But we have to always remember that we have to take our accountability for the part we played in it.
And I'm glad you said taking that accountability, because a lot of times when we're going through things, some things really may be a sideswipe. So it's not that you always know that this is coming and you didn't expect it or whatever the case may be. But then even sometimes when we learn about the things, we still stay in the situation and in hopes of things getting better, But then when they don't get better, it's like, God, I already told you that it wasn't going to get better. I showed you by giving you that example of that happening. And then you could have made a decision at that time to just completely shift. And who knows what the difference it would have made in your life,
Absolutely.
But we are like, I'm almost like saying resilience to the point of sometimes a bad version of resilience. Like, oh, I'm going to make this, I'm going to do this. Did you ever go through those phases of your life?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we think, even relationships, we think we can change people. Oh, we can help them to be better. And sometimes we have to remember that it's not our job to fix people.
That's right.
It's our job to pour in, give the lesson, but it's not our job to fix.
That's good.
The person. Because they have to want to be fixed, or they have to want to do the process and do the work. Because if the person's not ready, it's not going to happen. It's going to continue to be the same cycle. And that's what we have to learn. We're not the fixer. We can provide information. We can take the horse to the water, but they got to want to drink it.
That's right. That's good. And even, and for me, I'm a pastor now as well. And before, in leadership, in ministry, I always thought, I just had a certain thought of I'm helping people, I'm guiding them, I'm leading them. But now as a pastor, I feel it's very different, because it's like I know what God has called me to do, and I'm giving you what I'm supposed to give you. But then it has to be on the person too, to take some accountability, to be on the receiving end and be a doer of God's word. And that's not something you can make somebody do. I cannot make you choose God or choose Jesus. I can only tell you why I chose them and what the word of God says, So it's pretty interesting dynamic when it comes to relationships. You were talking about relationships. Was there a time in your previous journey that you felt you were able to change the person? And how did that work out for you, really?
See, you know how you see people and you be like, oh, their attitude is this way with somebody. Oh, it won't be like that with me. Oh, I probably could do, it'll get better with me if I stay with them, and if I could make them happier, or pour in more. But we have to remember, people only change when they want to, not when we want them to. And it's on God's timing, not our timing. Because maybe they still have things to learn and they're going still through their process.
I'm thoroughly already enjoying this conversation. Anybody else, you have questions, comments, thoughts, put them over in the section. I can see different ones of you. I can always see you guys when you're on, but it's hard for me to keep looking down and acknowledging every single person. So please type your comments so I can actually reference and notify and have you participate. Then that way I can make sure that I recognize you instead of just, I know it's a lot of people that are tuning in, and I appreciate you all, but just make sure you make some comments. All right. So listen, resilience, when you think of resilience, what does resilience mean to you from your perspective?
For me, from my perspective, I can say resilience is getting through. And it's not that you're perfect. And it's not that everything's neat and put in a bow, but you're trying to make things better. One step in front of the other, because every day can be a challenge. Like me going through trauma, it was a process. It was a process from each step. Healing is always a journey, and resilience is the fact is that you're trying to take those steps to make yourself a better version of yourself. Resilience is showing up for you and the next person that's next to you. Resilience is being able to spread your wings where you can, being able to give, that part of you that maybe you didn't think you could give anymore. Being able to build yourself up, build someone else that just being able to be dope.
being able to just be dope, and actually supporting and contributing and empowering other people. That's good. And when we think about putting other people, sometimes even ahead of ourselves, it helps us be able to bear our burden a little bit easier. Do you feel that way too?
Yes, absolutely. Because a lot of times when we're sharing our story or giving inspiration or motivating someone else, is motivating you at the same time. Because sometimes with the message that you have for someone else or the message that's given to you for someone else is actually also for you too.
That's good. Yeah. Every time I've ever ministered a word, the word applies to me. And so I'm like, thank you, Lord. I needed that encouragement myself. I needed to know that I'm more than a conqueror. I needed to know that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I needed to know that you're using me as a mouthpiece to let my light shine on a hill, sitting up like a city on a hill. All of these are things I personally need to know too, not just to teach it or preach it or minister it to somebody else. So I love that God always starts with us first as our own learn. Now you went through a lot of chronic illness too. I would like for you to just talk about how that helped shape your resilience and even overcoming some of the domestic violence that you experienced.
Absolutely. At the age of, I found out at 31. Now, for 30 years, I was healthy as a horse. I played basketball, and to encounter several different, because for 3-4 years, each year I was diagnosed with something different. So, that can play, onto your mental, and especially being a mom, because the first thing when I first heard about a few of my conditions and then there's no cure to it, your first thought is, what's going to happen to my kids? Am I going to die? Because, you start Googling and reading, and it's like your mind goes crazy and then you go into depression. So I had to remember that, yes, the doctor said I have these things. The paper might say there's no cure or this is what's going to happen, but I have to remember there's a higher power that has words that has more power than that. And I don't look like what I deal with on a daily. Yes, I'm in pain 24/7. I have to learn to be resilient through it and not be one of those, whoa, it's me. It's like, okay, how can I empower someone else through the words of encouragement? And I remember one day being in a job and just having the simple conversation. Somebody asked me how I'm doing. I said, well, I'm okay. I'm a little painful. I deal with this and I deal with that, but I'm here and I'm still moving. I'm still thriving. And to find out, just having that simple conversation, I saved a life. Like the very next day, he said to me, he was like, listening to your story made me want to live. I wanted to die. He wanted to kill himself. He wanted to actually take his life. And me just having a conversation with him, simply me not even knowing it, takes words have power. And from there, that's where, I am powerful and I matter comes in, because just a simple word of talking about what I deal with, not complaining, just being inspiring,
right?
Tones of saving a life. That means I'm dedicated of the word, another acronym I use called healing, helping to empower and amazing lives. And I take it as a part of a mission to
healing,
be able to
helping to empower what?
Amazing lives.
Okay.
And taking that journey of healing means to help. And the healing's not just for me, it's for others.
Wow. I mean, I'm telling you already, I know I'm taking notes over here and learning what you're saying. And it's some great information. I see all of you on Instagram as well. Feel free. Yes. Good morning, woman of God. God bless you. God bless you too. Sir Diggy over there. I see you all. So please keep your comments coming, and I'll definitely make sure throughout the broadcast that I acknowledge you all. So you do this big program on unmasking motivation. What is that? Tell us what's the thrust behind it and what made you actually get inspired to unmask motivation.
Absolutely. So it all started with my first book back in 2019, and it's called The Mask Behind the Mask. And the mission of that is that, after going through domestic violence, after dealing with health conditions, anxiety, PTSD, and, just the trauma, it's like, you got to get comfortable in your own skin. So with that book, even though it was poetry, I was telling people that they had a mask on. There's always a face behind the other face. And through that, writing it, it's like, listen, I want you to understand. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to say, I'm not okay. But what are you going to do after you've come to that vulnerability that I'm sitting in something? So then we have unveiled the broken pieces of the mask, where it's like, hey, let's do the work. Then we have the evolution of the mask, that I'm here. I've showed up. I'm her. And we gonna do this. Like, it's the glow up after the grow up. So with that poetry season, it was about unmasking. It was about getting uncomfortable. It was about showing up authentically, unapologetically who you are, regardless of what you've been through, regardless of what you're going through. And it's okay to sit in your mess, but it's okay to pick yourself up and let's get it together now.
Wow. I was looking over here to see if I could find that original book, which I did. I found it online. So just as easy as I found it, you all could find it too. The Mask Behind the Mask with Dr. Shana Gourdine. Yes. So Dr. Shana Gourdine, Mask Behind the Mask. That's because we all have some type of mask that we're wearing, is what we're saying, is what you're saying.
Yes.
So the face that we put on to other people and the face that we really have behind the scenes. But behind the scenes, the face does not always have to be a bad.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I don't think you're saying that. I'm saying that that's typically what people think, is if you're wearing a mask, then who is the real you?
Because sometimes, we might be at home dealing with something and, it's not that it's bad, but, our mission is also to be a vessel. And, sometimes we have to come out. Like, you could be dealing with depression. and you still have to be a mom. So you still have to put that brave face on
Mm-hmm.
and still be a mother. You know, you could be dealing with trauma, but you still got to be a mom. You still got to be a daughter. You still got to be, you know, a wife. So we're still putting on a mask to carry on the day. But through this mission, you got to know that at times we got to listen to what's happening, that we're not okay. And, you know, go to therapy, do the work so that we can be a version of ourselves and know the tools to use when we are in those spaces.
That's really good advice, because we can put on whatever face we need to put on to get through the scenario or the
Mhm.
situation we're dealing with, but we find ourselves alone with
Yeah.
ourselves at
Yeah.
some point in life. And then those are the harder conversations that we're having between us and God. And it's like,
Yes.
God, I am not okay. I this past week, I've had 3 people pass away that are like, whoa, this is a lot. And
Mhm.
it was quite overwhelming. So I did express that to some people that are close to me, and because I needed people to know that this is very heavy,
Yeah.
and I'm not okay with all that this is that's happening. Even though I do know that death is inevitable, and we're
Mhm.
all going to transition from this earth.
Right.
But when it happens, Dr. Sheena, it's like, oh my gosh, not
Yeah.
now, not that person. Not,
Yeah.
it's just never the right time.
Right.
Interesting. So, what message do you ultimately want people to receive when you're talking about unmasking motivation? What do you want people to walk away with?
I want them to know that, you know, your words matter, and, you know, it's okay to get uncomfortable, because sometimes people don't like that uncomfortability, but with growth, uncomfortability has to come, because if you're comfortable, you're going to always stay the same. You know, with unmasked motivation, we want you to thrive, we want you to rise, and we want you to be the best version of who you are.
Mm, that's good. Thrive, rise, and be the best
Yes.
version of who you are. Thrive, rise, and be the best version of who you are. And so, when you're talking about being the best version of who you are, there are probably some practical tips or thoughts or strategies that you personally had to take on, and then obviously other people can glean and learn from that. What are the most effective things that you did while you were going through your journey to
Well,
be?
you know, through my journey, I had my affirmations. You know, one thing I did, I found affirmations that worked for me. You know, I sat down and I wrote a few that was connected to me. And,
Mhm,
you know, those is what I said to myself every day as I went through my process of rising. You
mhm,
know, then I found scriptures that worked for what I needed, my strength, you know, if I needed power out, you know, or, you know, inspiration. I found things, you know, that worked for me, because every scripture ain't gonna work for that person, so they have to find what is attached to their inner soul and to their inner motivation, to what's gonna inspire them. You know, I had songs that I would play, you know, that gave me my inspiration, like when I was feeling down or I needed a pick me up. I had a song that I would play every morning, like this is what the song I needed to start my day. Writing was definitely one of my go-tos. You know, one, I like the journal, but I like to write poetry. So poetry was one of my go-to to help inspire me, because now I get to inspire people. And,
mhm,
you know, through my mission, that gave me my biggest push, because like when I wrote my first book, to be totally honest and transparent, it honestly, I was just gonna write it, and it was just like, all right, it was done.
mhm.
6 years later, I had no idea I'll be at 9 books, speaking, and everything else that came with it. God had a different vision for it. You
That's
know, I honestly wanted to do it, you know, show my kids that, hey, mommy wrote a book, I did something. But once I put it on paper,
mm,
my vision was not the vision that I seen happening right now. God
right.
said, no, you have more work to do. And this is your mission, because it went from me just writing that one book to 9 books in. I've been in 40 other co-author books. You
I
know,
do see you everywhere. I see you
yeah,
everywhere.
you know, and so he was like, no, you know, he keeps giving me things, and I'm the vessel. I said yes, You know, that one day I remember being in the, in the bathroom praying because I was going through my domestic violence, and I was like, just get me out of this. From there on, it's all you, because I see myself, and it's like I keep repeating this pattern, and something has to change. And I had to also remember that I was running from something that I've been destined for a long time, because I used to write in high school.
Wow.
So this has been destined for me. And a lot of times we tend to run from things that's already was designed.
We might be more similar than we think, because when I was younger, I was a part of the young authors conferences. Were you a part of those too?
Well, what I used to do is I actually used to send in poetry into competitions for magazines, and I had a book literally written. And when after my grandmother passed in 2018, I went and I put, I was in my room, in my old room back at my mom's house, and I pulled the book out. I had and it was like just an aha moment, because I opened it and it said Shana Gourdine, author, title of the book, whole book already written out. And it was like, wow, it's been destined all these years, and I've been running from it.
Wow. Same here, Dr. Sheena. Same thing. I wrote a book when I was a young child, participating in the authors conferences. And my mom, when I used to get put on punishment, which was very rare, but when I did, she would put me in my room, and I was thinking, girl, this ain't even nobody's punishment, because I am in here with my book rack,
right?
Metal book racks you had back in the day. And I was like, I am in heaven in my own way, sitting there with my feet propped up, reading books. I was so happy. Needless to say, she caught on to that and took the book rack out of my room. I was like, so yes,
you gonna be on punishment.
Right, you gonna be on punishment. I'm like, oh, I should have acted more sad. But yeah, that's good. When you're destined for something at a young age, God has a way of still being able to make it really come together, and that's what He did in your life. And what I hear when I'm hearing you talk about your story and your journey, you're very careful in your wording. So I wanted to ask you, because I noticed that throughout the whole conversation, and I'm sure it's very intentional. How do you determine how transparent you should be to inspire other people, but still not be too transparent? Because that's what I'm kind of think is a good question for you.
It is interesting. It's never me, it's Him. So I let Him guide my tongue. And whatever He delivers to my mind to speak, it was His mission of me delivering it.
That's good. So yeah, that's real good, because sometimes I know it personally. I'm careful as to what pieces of my story I'll share, because I know it also impacts another person or other people, and that may not be a piece of the story that needs to be revealed for their lives.
Absolutely.
At this stage. So does that happen with you, dealing with the domestic violence and some of the things?
Yeah, it is interesting. I kind of, how some people like pre-write speeches and pre-write, their questions, and oh, maybe I could say this. I kind of just, when the question comes, I allow Him to speak in my head, like, this is what you need to say, and it is by His design.
By His design.
By His design.
What needs to be shared. Comments. By His design. That's good. Good. Okay. And healing, actually, it looks different for all different types of people. So what may look like healed for you may be completely like, girl,
different for someone else.
Right. So why are you talking about you healed? You still going to the doctor? You still whatever. What did healing look like for you, especially when you were dealing with domestic violence, all of these medical conditions, chronic illnesses? What is healing from your perspective?
From my perspective, because healing is such a journey on an everyday basis, is like there's no end note to healing. I could say healing looks like peace, that moment where I can smile and say, you know what? I'm here at this moment and appreciating what it is. Today might not be as painful, and that's a healing. Today I woke up because someone else didn't. I was able to inspire somebody by just saying good morning. I was able to put a smile on somebody's face by saying, you know what? You're worthy. You are powerful. You matter. That's healing for me, by just waking up and seeing the smile on my kid's face and saying, that one of my defining moments is I was walking back from the car one day and my daughter said, "You know what, Mom? I'm proud of you." I'm like, "Oh," she's like, "Yeah." She said, I see you. I see what you're doing. I see how you're empowering other people. And I'm inspired. And I love it. She's like, a lot of people look at other people as their hero. You're my hero. And that is peaceful for me. Like, that's everything.
That's it. That's about the size of it, as my grandma said. She said that all the time. She said, "Now that's about the size of it right there. If you get that, you got something. And your legacy is working, right? Your legacy building is working." Yes. That's good, good. So people that are stuck, they're stuck in their minds and stuck in their situations, and they see no hope. It's like I just don't see a way out. I don't see light at the end of the tunnel. Any advice you could give to them?
To anyone that may be feeling stuck or you might not see that light, remember that you will rise. It may be dark, it may be showering, it may be pouring, but remember his hand is guiding that whole storm. Sometimes it might not look like it's happening, but whatever he's doing in the background is for your good. Sometimes we might not see it because it's not time for you to see it yet. It's something in that storm that we still need to be guided through. It's something in that storm that we still need to be taught through. And it's something that storm that we need to grow through. So always remember, if the storm still look the same, it's something that we're missing and we need to gain.
Yeah, I hope you don't deprive anybody of seeing this broadcast, even if it's in a replay fashion. People need hope today. People need inspiration. People need to know that no matter what life looks like right now, it can always get better. And don't give up. Don't give up on life. Don't give up. Don't give up, because you have people like Dr. Sheena here telling you that it does get better. And now the self-love that she has, the transformation that she has, the inspiration to be able to pass it on to other people is literally because of some of the hardships that she experienced and the chronic illnesses that she's had to live through. Even she looks nothing like the things that she's gone through, nothing like the things she's been through. So self-love, how important is self-love, Dr. Sheena?
Oh my God, that is everything. Like, I have this one poem, or shall I say this track that I have that's screaming on all platforms. It's called "It's Only One Me." And in the scenario, I said, I love me and you should love me too. Loving yourself is so dope, because the thing about it is everything, because it starts with you. My one quote to people when I do workshops and stuff, and I ask them, do you love yourself? And if you don't, why don't you? Because it starts with you. Because if you don't love you, how someone else gonna love you? If you don't appreciate you, how someone else gonna appreciate you? And if you don't love all of the goodness that you was created to be, how can anybody else create you? Create loving all of that, because God loves you, and it starts with you. A lot of times, we forget that as a baby, we loved who we was. That's we right. all have imperfections. It's something about yourself that you might not like, but embrace it, because with that embracement comes the love.
I feel better talking to you. That's for sure. I see you. Dr. Sandy Sanders is on, and she has a show called Coffee Conversations with Sandy Sanders. And I'm telling you, she always interviews authors. So here's another author for you, Dr. Sandy. Dr. Sheena, meet Dr. Sandy Sanders. And you.
Oh, I know her. I've been on her show a couple times too. I need to.
Okay. I thought I was doing a liaison.
Absolutely.
I would say, what does healing look like for you? That's a question. What does healing look like for you? And you just answered it.
Look. just loving every inch of me, from regardless of what it may be, despite of what it may look like, despite of what I've been through, just being able to be here. This is what healing looks like to me. Being able to put out this book, and the next one that comes with it, that's what it looks like. Yes.
Beyond scars.
Yes. Beyond the scars. That's what healing looks like for me, because beyond the scars, the rise of the wings, the resilient wings come in.
Mm.
So that's what it looks like. Being able to speak life into someone else, being able to inspire something else, being able to get up and inspire my kids to walk and do work at school, and just being able to just be dope.
I love it. Just be dope. Just be
Just
dope.
dope.
Beyond Scars, the rise of resilient wings. And that imagery is so profound. It just shows that yes, you can be in the fire, you can be going through, you can have to wrap yourself with your own love. But
Yes.
at the end of the day, we all can get beyond these scars. So what's the message you want people to take away from your book, Beyond Scars?
That beyond those scars, you rise, you thrive, and you are totally and absolutely amazing.
Mm. Wow. You are totally and absolutely amazing. This is an episode that needs to be put on repeat. If nobody confirms you or affirms you, just play these pieces of this episode. You are totally amazing. Get beyond the scars, thrive, be dope, be healing, and do all of the things that get you to the best version of yourself. Let's see, I see another thing, turning my pain into purpose. Talk to us about that.
That is volume 2, because I have volume 1 and volume 2. So with that, this has 22 authors in it. I was a visionary of it. And being able to help people take that pain and turn it into a purpose. Because, just because it was painful doesn't mean that it's not your purpose, in switching it into a mission. Being able to take having a miscarriage and turning it into something amazing. Being able to take a divorce and turning it into an enlightenment. Being able to take grief and turning it into something amazing. Like each time, because like with me, I lost my brother in 2007 to cancer. And with him, I take those scars of losing him and turn it into a mission of empowering people that, yes, we go through grief.
That's
And
right.
yes, it might not look like, it's something missing, but we have to go through those stages of loss and take it, and inspiring people of thriving through things. Because my brother, he died of cancer. And so now I work with the Cancer Society. I do the walk. I do the awareness, and, just be able to inspire people through the transitions of different things in life.
Wow.
So
And
turning that pain into a purpose.
And you're doing that wonderfully. You actually have done it so well that you received a Lifetime Presidential Achievement Award. And I know we talked about you having it back there somewhere, but I wanted to just give you the opportunity to speak about how that along with your honorary doctorate that you received, how has that just put icing on the cake for you? How did that do
You
it for you?
know, it was crazy, because how like we, the accolades and all things, I just kind of, I don't do it for any of it, but it, when you receive it, it's like, wow. It's like I cried when I had got the email, because it was like, I don't do it for the accolades, but to know that someone sees you and see what you're doing, it feels good. And what I said was, you know what? Okay, God, I see what you're doing. Because did I ever imagine myself having the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award? No. Did I ever imagine getting an email having Dr. Shana Gourdine? No. But he decided that, what you're doing, people see you. So I'm going to put you in the rooms of where I feel you need to be.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
designed me to put that title. And whatever he designs and doors I open, that's what I step through. Where he takes me, that's where I go. I remember having an event, and this person told me they were supposed to, because it was a domestic violence event. And they was like, oh, I was only coming to get something to eat, because there was like a restaurant next to where I had it. And when they came in, they said it was something about the energy that drew me in, and it drew me to talk to you. So they came and they told me their story. And I've gotten that a lot. I'll be sitting in a corner, and it's to the point to where God make them so comfortable to reveal the things that they need to speak of And I see myself, it's like this. When I had to go get surgery one time, I was meant to be there because I needed to be there for a reason.
Mm.
If I had to go to a doctor for a CAT scan, it's more of who I needed to meet or who I needed to talk to. If I walked through a door and someone needed a hello, I was meant to be there at that moment to give them something.
Yeah.
I've learned that a lot of times the message is not for me. So looking at me dealing with ankylosing spondylitis, polycystic kidney disease, fibromyalgia, DVT, because the day I found out that I had a DVT, I had a blood clot in my thigh and in my calf. Mind you, don't know how long I walked around with it. By the time I went to the hospital, because I get a CAT scan every year. Happened so, when I went there, it was already kind of like, how when the CAT scan, when it already dries up, it didn't move.
Right.
So that right there tells you I'm here for a purpose, because anything could have happened walking around with blood clots. Had no clue they were there.
That's right.
So this shows me every time I was designed for a purpose. I'm here for a purpose, and there's a reason for it.
Yes.
I don't look like my story, so the message is really not for me. It's for someone else.
That's good.
The storm that I'm going through, I'm here to help someone else through it.
That's good.
Because every time I met someone that's either had a condition that I'm dealing with, or they're going through something I've been through. So it's not for me, it's for someone else. My testimony is defined and purpose for other people.
Well, that goes right to my next thought, which is, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be? I mean, all of us want to be remembered for something. At least I know I do. So I'm thinking that when we transition from this earth, which we all will, what do you really want your legacy to be?
The fact is that I'm here to inspire. The purpose of being able to help people turn their pain into purpose, being able to show that self-love, being able to know that they matter in whatever darkest hour it could be, being able to have someone know that they matter and they are worthy, regardless of what it looks like.
That's good. Good. Wow. Well, I mean, you're already doing that right here, and you're on a mission to get it accomplished. And I can't even imagine the higher heights that you're going to go to after seeing all that you've already been doing, just in being a trailblazer that you are. And so I see you have purple hair over there. I saw when you leaned into the camera and you had your hair a little bit purple. Why purple hair right now?
Well, the fact is that, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and being an advocate for that, it inspires me to always impact people that, and one, purple is my favorite color, but two, purple symbolizes the passion of the thriver and being a freedom and being at peace and motivated to be who you are. So I always change my hair in October to inspire people to continue to be a fearless thriver, continue to be fearless through all that they do, and just love who they are, because it starts with us.
That's so wonderful. So be a fearless thriver, y'all. It's been so many nuggets that's been shared during this episode already that you can only be more inspired and be a better version of yourself after hearing Dr. Sheena. So I hope that something that's been shared will definitely change your thought process. Ladies, enjoy both of you. Thank you, Dr. Kim and Dr. Sheena. Amazing author. I have enjoyed this interview so much, is what Sandy Sanders said as well. And now you talked a lot about your family too, and how inspiring they are by you. But do you want to share anything that you are inspired because of them?
I'm always inspired by my kids, because they went through it with me, and they are my little thrivers. And to see them now, because there are both teenagers in high school. I have a sophomore and I have a freshman.
Okay.
And to be inspired that they didn't allow it to transition into them, because sometimes it can change your kids after going through.
You better believe it.
Of seeing your mom go through this. So being able to see them still thrive, and being able to be resilient, because they're resilient with me and they help me push through this. being able to see them inspires me to continue to inspire, because I also wrote children's books too. So I inspired kids along the way too. And I made them my co-authors along with it. So being able to take the transition to watch them thrive and be able to keep thriving, and that's my push. My push is that they push me and I push them back, so we thrive together.
That's really good. I'm over here on your Facebook page too, and I see so many things with the unmasking motivation. I would have to you have to download a bunch of pictures in order to pull
Yeah.
it off. Like, oh, that's a whole lot of pictures I would have to download.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I just wanted to, let me see if I have a way of, see if I can, I want to share. I just want to share the screen here of your Facebook, because there's so much stuff that you have going on.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely something that everyone needs to know about. So you all make sure you go and follow Dr. Sheena on her social media pages under her name, and you'll be able to stay connected with her. She has our episode up there, but then she also have Thrive Spotlights on there. She has different covers of her magazine. I see different people that she has featured on her shows. So you want to definitely stay connected with her, because these people that she's exposing you to are also going to be able to help you better balance some aspect of your life. Scar celebrations. She has domestic violence conference that's coming up. When is your conference?
That is October 10th.
Okay. So all of her information, that ways that you can donate, her book releases and different, all, you name it, Unmasking Motivation, covers to the magazines, it's unlimited amounts of things over here with some powerhouse people that you can be connected to. So make sure all kind of awards that she's received, awards for courage, awards for lifetime achievement, you name it, it has happened in her life. How to Rise and Thrive, How to Be a Woman of Empowerment Award. This woman, literally, like I said, I would have to go and just download a gazillion things. But your honor is being given where honor is due. And so I'm really proud of everything that God has trusted you with, Dr. Sheena, to be able to salt this earth. Absolutely. It's really making a difference. Is there anything you wanted to share that maybe we didn't get a chance to talk about? Because I know we talked about so many things today.
Of course. I am, of course, about to release another book, of course. This one is called The Faith Over Flare-Ups. And that is more, that's dedicated to, the insides of dealing with autoimmune disease and the behind the scenes of a life of a person that is dealing with different chronic health conditions. But in it, I speak of the real life things, but I also give you like different exercises that you could try, maybe some eating habits you could switch out, because, life, because when you're diagnosed with something, it's not, it becomes a new norm for you. Right. Your normalcy is different, and right now, it's a new norm for me. So I call it the faith after the flare-ups, because the thing about it is, with different conditions that come with different stuff. So you have to learn to eat different, exercise, and I give pictures of the CAT scans that I have to do every 6 months, or, the blood work. When I had the DVT, I had to get it was like, oh my God, I think it had to been like about 15 tubes of blood, because they were trying to figure out why I had this going on and why did I get blood clots. And, I have a picture of all the pills that I might have to take, or like the shots that I have to give myself every 2 weeks, because people get to see behind the scenes of what it looks like.
That's right.
My true transparency.
Yeah. A lot of times people don't understand, because everybody don't go through anything similar to what you're going through. Mm-hmm. So I know, raising children that have had special needs, I've had to learn how I was never interested in drawing anybody's blood or anything like that. But when one of my children come home from the hospital and have to still be on like this PICC line IV treatment with this pole for over a month, then somebody has to know this stuff. I'm like, well, I'll be the one learning how to use the alcohol, drawing the blood, putting the bowl back onto the thing. Whatever it takes is what is the mindset when you're finding out about things that you never thought would happen in your life,
Yeah, absolutely. Did I think I have to be giving myself a shot every 2 weeks to function? No, but that's my new norm. And, I didn't like giving myself new needles, but I had to learn and get comfortable with it. So, you know, your new norm looks different, but my new norm now is peaceful. I'm here, I'm happy, and I'm able to celebrate with people and make them feel good. So, being able to empower, waking up just to say, "Hey, you're loved, and I'm proud of you." I'm here for it.
I'm proud of you, that's for sure. And I'm sure you get a lot of other accolades, but know that I'm definitely proud of you as well. I encourage you all, if you have not supported, or even if you have supported, there are some people that it's in your heart that you want to give to the Kim Jacobs Show. You want to support our broadcast because we come on Monday through Friday. We come into your household. You allow us and invite us into your household. Take a moment and contribute to our broadcast and let us know that you do support us behind the scenes and that you want things to keep going forward with all of the subscriptions. It's cost quite a bit to be able to keep things functioning at a professional level to bring it into your household. So please make sure you take a moment and donate to our program today. You can do it through PayPal. For the audio listeners, it's paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. And then you can also do it through Venmo at the Kim Jacobs Show. Or you can also do it through Zelle or Apple Cash, and you would use the number 704-962-7161. If you want to send a contribution, we greatly appreciate it. I do have a couple of things happening from just by way of an announcement that's happening over the next I guess we should start just with Unity Sunday. Unity Sunday, where all of the Greek organizations are coming together. Any Greek organization from the Divine Nine that you may represent, come rep your colors, represent your gear, whatever you want to wear. And then also there are Eastern Stars, Jack and Jill, you name it, ladies of distinction, whatever groups, sororities, fraternities, you name it, come and rep at Promise Fellowship Church. We have three distinguished guests. One is going to be Dr. Sharonda Banks. She will be one of our guest speakers from Intentional Steps Services. And Greg H. Jackson will be rapping. He's going to be a hip hop artist that will be performing and ministering in song. And then we have Chris Ray, president of Barbara Scotia College, a predominantly historically Black college university. We are super excited. He's the 20th president, and so excited about him being one of our speakers as well. So make sure this is where we have our services at the Brownstone Signature Events venue, and the address is 12080 University City Boulevard in Harrisburg, North Carolina, right about 5 minutes from UNC Charlotte. And so we'd love to see you there on Sundays at 10 a.m. And the final announcement that I'll make is that we have our 5K walk coming up with Gabe's Heart Foundation. And that's in honor of my son. Many of you know I wear a pendant and it has my son's picture on it. Well, it's been 10 years that we are going to be celebrating and walking. Bring your churches, your organizations, anybody. And if you believe that you are able to submit a 1-minute video for consideration of a giveaway for a defibrillator that we're giving away on that day. You don't have to be present to win. But if you would like to submit a video and all you have to do is tag at Gabe's Heart Foundation, then we will consider your video. Make sure you tag at Gabe's Heart Foundation. Other than that, we won't know. And then we will be making the announcement at the 5K walk. Okay. And this defibrillator talks and everything. It's like a whole thing. It's a big deal. All right. And it's free to come out and walk if you are local in the Charlotte area. Any closing comment, Dr. Sheena?
Remember that you're amazing.
Remember that you are amazing.
Despite it all. Remember that you are amazing. Remember
I'm reading a book about that right now, that you are already
amazing.
You're already amazing. I've been reading that book and it just has been inspiring me personally. Kim, you're already amazing. You, the studio audience, you're already amazing. Somebody type that in the comments section. You are already amazing. I'll type it too. I'm trying to do all kind of stuff over here. Let's post the 1-minute video. And then I'm going to just type, you are already amazing. You are already amazing. And the more we hear that, the more we can have it register in our spirit that no matter what we're going through, no matter what the circumstances are, you're already amazing. Thank you for reiterating that today. Thank you for sharing the resilience of the human spirit. We can make it. We can do this thing. And I see all of you that have joined over there on Instagram. Remember, you are already amazing. Sir Diggy, I see you. Sadie, I see you. Oh, that's my auntie. Oh, Aunt Sadie. I see you, Koja Queen. I see you, Miss White. I see all of you all. Make sure if your organization would like to be considered for the portable defibrillator, that's the way you can do it. And stay connected with Dr. Sheena. How do they stay connected with you? One more time.
You can find me on Facebook as Dr. Shana Gourdine, and then on Instagram it's Lady Behind the Mask 22.
Lady Behind the Mask 22. Let me put that on there too, Dr. Sheena. And on what you say on Instagram?
On Instagram,
It's Lady
Behind the Mask 22.
I'm typing that Behind the Mask. I didn't know that one. 22. Even though I think I follow you on everything already, but I'm still.
You do.
Okay, I was gonna say, hey, I thought I already am supporting. Okay, but that's I'm gonna put it up so you all will know, and I'll put it over here on Instagram as well, so you can know how to go ahead and follow her immediately. You have a show too. Tell everybody.
It's called The Power in My Voice, and the message behind that, it came from my children's book that I created with my kids. It's called The Power in Me. And, it's like, why not let people know that the power is within your voice, be able to speak life into you, be able to use your testimony to inspire people, and be able to be dope, dedicated to other people empowerment. The power in your voice.
The power in your voice. And when can people catch that?
They can catch it on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m.
Tuesdays,
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
At 7 p.m.?
Yeah.
And it's the power
in your voice.
In your voice. And by this is a talk show. So make sure you all support everything that Dr. Sheena has going on. The power in your voice. There is power. Yes. There's power in your voice, and God has given you that authority and that dominion to use that power and to exercise your right. Anybody have any closing question, thought, anything? I don't want to disconnect without giving anybody a chance to say anything. I tried to pop a lot of the comments up. Let me just acknowledge some of the people. I see you, Dr. Sheena. I see you. I see you because you're on here. Okay. Sandy, I see you, Dr. Sandy. I see you, Queen. I see all of you guys. And if I didn't acknowledge you directly, know that I do appreciate you being a part of the Kim Jacobs Show. It's because of you that we're able to keep this show going Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. We do have some wonderful guests remaining this week. We have Dr. Sharonda Banks will be on Friday. So make sure you all tune in to hear her story on resilience. And it's a trademark that she has that is redefining resilience. It's something powerful. And then we also have because all of these people that are going to be featured at our church at Promise Fellowship on Sunday, I've had them on this week. So Greg H. Jackson came on yesterday, shared some of his songs and what inspired him to be a hip hop rapper, as well as how to heal Charlotte. He talked about how to heal our nation. And then Chris Ray, president of Barber Scotia College, will be on tomorrow as my guest. And we're going to be talking about his service and his leadership and his legacy, because he has a lot wrapped into who he is, as well as Dr. Sharonda Banks. She's going to be talking about resilience. And this woman has overcome a lot to be who God has created her to be. And it's quite inspiring. So that's our lineup for the rest of this week. Dr. Sheena, you have blessed my soul. You have really made me happy to be here today. I feel like I can go on just a little bit longer because of you.
That's good. And that's one soul at a time. That's the mission. The power within the words.
Yes. Well, keep on letting your light shine bright. Thank you for sharing some of your testimony with us and how you don't even look at it like it's anything that's stopping you.
No.
Oh God, you have books coming up. You have your show happening. You have the Lifetime Presidential Achievement Award. You have so much. How do you just relax and have fun? Tell us right quick.
I've learned to balance, because when you first start, it's just a go. And I've learned that, what, I have to take certain moments and say, okay, not this weekend. I learned the word no. You have to learn the word no, because you can't be everything to everybody if you're not all to yourself too. So you have to take that moment and take some self-care. So, I take certain weekends, and it's my me time. So whereas I might have a bath, I would take a walk, go get my nails done, be in my word, right. And that's just my time, to whereas I even tell my kids, give me 30 minutes, give me an hour. I need just me, my TV, my glass of wine, and quietness. At first, I used to be like, no, Ma, you don't need no time. Yes, I do. Because in order for me to be the best mom for you, I need to get me some time to me.
Wow. Well, y'all, there you have it. You have heard right from this wonderful Dr. Shana, who has blessed us beyond measure. And she is the lady behind the Mask 22 on Instagram and on all other social media platforms. You can still follow her as well. So we're glad that you graced us with your presence today, and thank you for being here. I absolutely love your spirit. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you all for tuning into this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Thank you so much to CTR Media Network. People have been calling to say, how do we catch you on Roku and Android TV and all Apple TV and all of that? So if you want to watch it on your television, you just download the CTR Media Network app. Once you download it, we're under the self-improvement channel. There are different channels. We're actually number 5. So whoever's watching, thank you, because we've gotten quite a few viewership as a result of you all tuning in. So if you go ahead and go there, you'll see that we are now streaming in 300 or so thousand social media platforms, 140 countries, 350 million households around the country. So whatever time of the day or night it is that you're watching this show, thank you for being a very valuable studio audience member. I love each and every one of you, and have a great day. God bless you, Dr. Shana. I love you. Love you all. And I'll see you all again tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show, and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you, and make it a great day.